Like my man Kyle Draper would say on the Sacramento side of things, I'm trying to figure out how I want to play this one tonight. The Warriors lose 141 and 127 in overtime. They had a 10-point lead with 3 minutes and change left in this one. And then the turnover bug happened. The Warriors commit 16 turnovers in the second half alone, give up 25 points off those turnovers, and Toronto comes charging back. And the Warriors, just like that, had their 3-game winning streak snapped on the first game of this 3-game road trip. We have a lot to explain and diagnose here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Woolen, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. Wow, wow, wow. And you could look back at the end of the third quarter when the Warriors gave Toronto some life. They end that third frame on an 8-0 run. We'll get to that. But overall, just a devastating loss for the Golden State Warriors.
Bonte, you got to run through the tape. I mean, the Warriors played incredible basketball for almost 3/4 of the way. And at the end of the third quarter, it just seemed like they let go of the rope. I mean, before this, Steph is playing incredible basketball. He's scoring in different ways from the three-point line. They're playing off the back cuts of the the top locks. And he's getting great looks at the rim. Very diverse offense. Draymond Green is having an incredible game offensively. Jimmy Butler's making plays for guys. Will Richards coming in the game, bringing energy. At the end of the third, the tide turns. The Warriors started to turn the ball over. I mean, the Toronto Raptors started to get comfortable at home. The crowd gets into the game, and then the fourth quarter is just a battle.
Yeah, the end of the third, they went on an 8-0 run. Toronto did, right? Cut it to 102-98. But the Warriors built that lead back up. But I think Toronto, in the back of their mind, had some confidence that they could make a run back. They started double-teaming Steph in the backcourt, started making other people try to beat them, started forcing turnovers. So ultimately, that's what lost the game for the Warriors. Points off turnovers, 35-19, a minus 16, which led, at halftime, the Raptors were shooting 55%. Yep. Third quarter, the Warriors were dominating. They were up by 13 points at one point, 26-13. And their field goal percent had dipped to like 47%, but then that flipped. And to finish the game, they got 110 field goal attempts to the Warriors 96. They made 56 field goals to the Warriors 43. So the length, the athleticism really wore the Warriors down. They had total control of the game till the middle of the fourth, really. Those double teams, scrambling, double team in the backcourt, and really getting deflections is what cost the Warriors the game.
Scottie Barnes, 23 points, 25 rebounds, 10 assists. I thought he was Bill Russell out there.
Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain,
Chamberlain, Nikola Jokic, you name it. Scottie Barnes was that terrific tonight in Toronto. But the points in the paint, Fezzi, we discuss this all the time, and the Warriors had closed that gap. They were a minus 12 in the first half. Next thing you know, they're a minus 30 for the game, 70-40. Toronto outscores them in the painted area.
Yeah, Bonte, it's all correlated to taking care of the basketball, one. Yep. But second, it's point of attack defense. I thought the Toronto Raptors in the second half, they just made it a point to attack. They weren't hitting threes, and so they just decided to drive to the rim. And the Warriors, there wasn't really a lot of pressure, a lot of resistance. Yep. You just saw them getting steals, getting fast break layups. You saw them getting to the cup off of just miscommunication by the Warriors. They got layups, and then they got into the game. They got into the flow. The shots that weren't falling early in the game started to fall. Brandon Ingram got into the game, and Scottie Barnes kept getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound. Those second chance points are just deflating to a team defensively.
Yeah, I thought the fourth quarter was more the turnovers, and then obviously overtime was all about offensive rebounds. At one possession, Scottie Barnes got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds. I think they shot 3 threes. They finally made one to cap it off. But it was the multiple efforts. And, as the game wore on, it felt like the younger, more athletic Raptors gained energy, and the Warriors lost some. I thought a key was, Toronto had 7 guys in double figures, but their bench, pre-game, I thought our bench would dominate theirs. It was
Which they were
quite the opposite, 47-43. Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, and Mamashkavili, all those 3 guys played really well off the bench. And then when they needed it most, their stars stepped up. Ingram really came on in the fourth quarter. Quickley was really dynamic in the second half. And, of course,
Scottie Barnes.
Scottie Barnes was great all night.
All right, let's pick up the crunch time tape here again. The Warriors had a 10-point lead. As you mentioned, Malik, the Warriors were able to build that lead back up with their crunch time tape. But 3 minutes of change left, 113 and 111. Jimmy Butler with a tough bucket over Brandon Ingram with the shot clock running down. Stephen Curry doing his dance. Warriors up 2. Tough layup right there over those long athletic defenders in Toronto. So the Warriors back up 4 here. a chance to really take over the game. Stephen Curry with the 3 splash.
I really
Warriors
thought
up
that
7.
shot was gonna seal the game, Bonte.
1:35 left in the game, and I thought so too, Fezzi, but Scottie Barnes playing bully ball down low. He's a load for the Toronto Raptors. Of course, he's not hitting the 3-ball well, but he can do that. Dunk on your head. Raptors down 5. Ingram with the tough pull up there.
Turnover.
That was after a turnover right there. Brandon Ingram really struggled with a shot in the first half, 6 of 14, but in overall, 12 of 26 from the floor.
Unforced turnovers. That will be the death of the Warriors this season. This has been the story all year long.
Quickley came alive in the second half.
Quickley comes alive. Big 3. He was 5 of 10 from the 3-point line. Now we got a tie ball game. Seth misses a shot, but how about Brendan Podziemski? Right place, right time.
Boy, rebound right here. Great placement. Just way to fight for it. This is just, I want it more than you do right here.
He got fouled, too.
Brendan Podziemski, 13 points off the bench in 28 minutes for the Dubs. Brendan Ingram goes out, but one of those offensive rebounds for Scottie Barnes.
That's also I wanted more than you do right there. He saw a lot of that.
So we get a tie ball game here. But Stephen Curry, what do you guys think? Offensive foul here? We see this a lot in the league.
This is 2 games in a row now, though, Bonte.
Yep.
End of the game. Guys playing defense with their face. It's just a tough possession. But this is, you can look towards the end of the game to see, to figure out what the cause of the loss was. But it's not this.
Brendan Ingram with a chance to win the game. Not sure why he settled for a 3-point shot with the game tied, but he bails the Warriors out. However, the momentum was all on Toronto's side going into overtime.
Yeah, going into the fourth quarter, the Warriors still had some momentum. They lost it with even more turnovers, bad possessions. End of the game right there, you saw a turnover from Steph and a few other guys. They kept dribbling into the corners. The Toronto Raptors would swarm the guys. They turned the ball over, gave them a lot of energy towards the game. So in overtime, they had all the momentum. They felt like they could get whatever they wanted offensively. They can get to the rim. Guys could get open shots, 3-pointers. They just weren't hitting them. But they had Scottie Barnes to get second, third, fourth offensive rebounds. That's backbreaking defensively. Offensively, the Warriors kept turning the ball over, and every shot they got at the rim, you have these long athletic guards that just contested everything. It was hard.
Now you get to overtime, and again, all the momentum on Toronto's side. Scottie Barnes is going up, saying, I'm taller and more athletic than anybody on the floor. Raptors up 2. Scotiabank Arena was rocking.
Double team.
And great double team right there, forcing another turnover. Scottie Barnes looking back, saying, all right, let's get a 3-point shot going.
But then
rebound.
That's
big
one.
Big rebounds. Scottie Barnes, this man possession.
That's
Look
2.
at him.
Over the top.
Over a guard, over a big, it doesn't matter. He just kept going to get it.
You get 3 stops and you get, depressed because these guys keep getting the ball back.
Brendan Ingram obviously smart, saying, hey, we're not going to settle for a 3. Let's get inside there. 15, 18-foot jumper. Toronto up 4. And then the Warriors just running out of gas here. Big time shot right there.
Offensive rebound again.
Offensive rebound. Another one. That's 3 now for Scottie Barnes in overtime alone.
Demoralizing to your defense.
And you look at second chance points. The Raptors with 29 second chance points. That is 3 of them right there.
Also got to give Walter a lot of credit. Like,
Absolutely.
He came into the game, even in the first half, they couldn't buy a shot. He came into the game off the bench, and he hit 3 quick threes and really gave them a little bit of life. So Walter also off the bench. The bench for the Toronto Raptors tonight really made their imprint, which is the way they came in with energy. They put a lot of pressure on the ball handlers, caused those turnovers. And then Scottie Barnes also with the offensive rebound.
Think about that, Moody. Warriors up 120-115, 107 left in the game. Toronto outscores the Warriors 26-7 the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I thought, obviously, the turnovers, the offensive rebounds, but the overall energy of the Toronto Raptors from the second half on showed. The athleticism, the length, as you mentioned, Bonte, just basically reaching over the top of the Warrior players because of their size. And they had some big-time shot makers. Like I thought their stars were good all night long, but late fourth and into overtime, they really stepped up.
And this is a graphic we hate to dust off, folks. Trust me, we don't like showing this graphic. But it's the 7th time this season the Warriors have blown a double-digit lead. They're tied for 4th with San Antonio and Milwaukee. However, they lead the league in most blown games. When they go into the fourth quarter, what they lead? They've lost 8 games when entering the fourth quarter with the lead. That is the most in the NBA. It's tough.
Yeah, we'll get back to
We'll get back to this. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr on the other side. Hopefully we'll hear from Steph as the Warriors blow a game up in Toronto, up 13. They lose by 14 in overtime.